Hello, my name is Scott Blakemore and I'm part of the International Relations team at Bond University. I'd love to introduce to you my contribution to the Brill's Research Perspectives on Diplomacy and Foreign Policy series, which has been titled Faith-Based Diplomacy and Interfaith Dialogue. This study has been broken up into 4 sections. The first section looks at faith-based diplomacy. Now, faith-based diplomacy aims to incorporate the positive assets of religion into peacemaking and diplomatic practice. So this first section sets the parameters of what that might look like and how that might be achieved. The second section of this study looks at interfaith dialogue as a potential operationalized version of faith-based diplomacy. Traditionally, interfaith dialogue has sat within biblical studies or comparative theology and hasn't necessarily been translated into diplomacy as yet. So this section really looks at the available modes or opportunities whereby interfaith dialogue can actually be translated into diplomatic practice. And indeed, it's found that there are programs available that can move beyond just building tolerance to enhancing mutual engagement and exchange. The third and the fourth section of this study look at specific cases where interfaith dialogue have been used. The third section looks at the case of Indonesia, who, since its transition into democracy, have been very successful in their interfaith programs, particularly in post-conflict societies. So there are some real positive lessons to be drawn from the Indonesian experience. The fourth section looks at the US and their experience with interfaith dialogue, which has been much more complex and nuanced and varied in its successes. Since 9/11, the United States has had to invest heavily in its interfaith programs domestically, and there has been a lot of success from that. However, there are still some challenges that remain unresolved. Internationally, however, the US has had a real challenge in balancing its interfaith programs with its foreign policy objectives, particularly in areas such as Afghanistan and Iraq. So these lessons are fundamental and really important for us to consider if we think about using interfaith dialogue in the future. So I'd encourage you to read. If you have any feedback or any comments, please feel free to reach out. But I hope that you enjoy this interesting perspective on diplomacy. Thank you.